David start off, by the way.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Khalil Doheny, and I'm Director of Content Marketing at DNA. Today, we have the team of EmotionTrac team. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Of
Great. Thanks, Khalil.
course. And while people are trickling in, David, Aaron, you want to kind of just go into introductions and really what we could expect from the webinar today.
Okay. I'm David Markowski, President, CFO of the company. And I originally became an investor back in 2017 when this project was just getting started. And Aaron saw some of my skill sets and asked me to become part of the management team. And I'm really excited about being part of the management team and probably one of the most thrilling projects I've worked on in my life.
Thank you, David. It's so exciting to have you with you on our team. Let me tell you, I'm Aaron Itzkowitz. I'm the CEO of EmotionTrac and founder. And Khalil, today we'll start with David. We'll do a little presentation, and then we'll pretty much open it for any questions and answers that people might have about the company that they didn't maybe get out of the offering page on Net Capital.
Awesome. There we go. So yeah, David, you want to go ahead and share your screen? We can go into the
Sure.
presentation.
I'm going to do a quick presentation here.
Yeah. And just quickly for anyone in the audience, if anyone has a question throughout the presentation, just leave it in that Q&A chat box. We just got to be very mindful of the type of questions we could ask. Due to SEC guidelines, we can't ask questions around financial projections, anything that's forward-looking, the use of funds. So any time you have a question around that, highly recommend to check out the Net Capital raise page. All that information will be there. With that being said, David, I'll just hand it back to you.
Okay, great. Okay, we are about providing data-rich insights to key decision makers within companies. The people that are our customers have to make informed decisions, and they pay dearly for that kind of information that helps them make quality decisions. The eyes are the window of the soul. The face is the doorway to the brain. We provide insights from real people and reveal all the emotional triggers. Our system has we have access to over 300 million panelists worldwide, 30 million in the United States. We can provide results in hours, robust reports, easy to use, and very cost effective. We are currently selling in two verticals. The first one is the legal space. The lawyer's dilemma is 100 million trial cases filed per year in the United States. 99% go without any benefit of jury insights. What we do is we provide the legal marketplace with a mock jury insight. We can show them how a jury might react emotionally to their arguments, to their testimonial, to their evidence. We've been selling into the legal space for the last 3 years now, and based upon our customer experiences, we're doing a great job. The advertiser's dilemma, in 2024, there'll be 936 billion spent on advertising. 99% of it will go untested before released. North America, the emotion AI market, that's the market we're in, is expected to be 132 billion by 2030. What we provide is, like I said, audience insights into the advertiser's world. And of course, we've been selling that now since the last 3 years. And we have a customer testimonial from leading national either agencies or advertisers. We have over actually 12 verticals that we go into that are, well over $1 trillion in size cumulatively. Multiple markets that are $100 billion markets. We have a solution. We provide insights, and we're going to innovate those industries. We've won national awards. We won awards with the for not only on the creative side but also on the legal side. And we have over 100+ clients. Some of the largest brands in America have been our clients. Top legal firms. We're moving towards enterprise relationships with some of these clients. We build very vital business models, and our models show us that we have some of the key ingredients to be a unicorn disruptor company. We solve $100 billion problems. We have a fast scaling digital business, and we have at least 80% gross margins as we scale. The business, we've been accelerating our sales. And I know I'm giving us an estimate here of what we think this year is going to come through. We're building opportunities. We have a small and medium enterprise pipeline of over $1 million, and an enterprise pipeline that's it's approaching $4 million that we are pushing into. Our average customer purchase value has continued to rise. We have 3 patents that are expansive. And we have a management team that has over $20 billion worth of exits in our backgrounds. And that's it.
Awesome.
Hey, David, why don't you share the story? You were at that 1640 event, and you met with Dan Newland, who's probably the second largest personal injury law, is the second largest personal injury law firm in Orlando. He was one of the first lawyers that worked with John Morgan at Morgan & Morgan. Can you share a little bit about that sort of introduction and what the takeaway was with that conversation? Because that was really exciting, wasn't it, David?
Yeah, it was very exciting. So I was at a family office wealth conference, and one of the speakers was a lawyer named Dan Newland, and he worked for Morgan & Morgan, he worked for Morgan & Morgan at length, and actually started out in as a policeman and became a lawyer. And after he became a lawyer, he went to work for Morgan & Morgan, but was one of their top lawyers, and he spun away. And he was talking about being a contributor to the community. And he said sometimes, God puts in front of you a situation where you need to pay attention. And I'm sitting there in the audience listening to him, and he's talking about how he's a personal injury lawyer, and how he was giving examples of that when certain things in the community came to his attention, he stood up and he took care of them. And so when the presentation was over, I went up and told him, I said, listen, this is your opportunity to get to be in attention, because we have a product that can change the outcome of cases and change the outcome of your client relationships. And he took about 3 minutes to 5 minutes to listen to me. He says, you know what? I've heard about this. And I said, well, we have a long-term relationship with Morgan & Morgan underway right now, and we're moving towards more of an enterprise relationship with them. They're accelerating across. They're installing us or getting us installed into their law firm so that all the lawyers can use it on all the cases. And he said, all right, I've got 3 guys I need you to speak with. Hand me his card, and we're rolling out a relationship with him right now as we speak. I was just reviewing it today. So, the exciting thing is that for example, the Morgan & Morgan relationship, we calculated based upon the business that they, based upon the amount of business they could bring us, that relationship alone could put us in $1 billion valuation, based upon what legal tech is trading for these days. It's exciting. It's very exciting.
Yeah. And then see a question here is, what is status with Microsoft Business and offshoot opportunities from that, and any other larger blocks of business coming from other companies?
Aaron, why don't you answer that one?
Sure. So I see that question came from one of our shareholders. So thank you so much, Brad. Hope all is well with you. It's always great to have you join us on these webinar calls. So David and I were both on a call with Microsoft yesterday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and was basically the kickoff call for their pilot test. And so until that pilot test gets completed, which probably, hopefully, we're waiting on them to send us their video files for testing, with hopefully in the next week or two. Then we'll deliver them results and then we'll get their feedback. But it's not just that one group at Microsoft. And I've said this before for anybody who's been on these webinars, it's other groups within Microsoft, including the Office of the Global Chief Marketing Officer, that is waiting to find out how this pilot is going. And once they get the data and they go to get the good housekeeping seal of approval, then we're going to be moving forward with other groups that include their retail media network groups, which has thousands upon thousands of salespeople who can be resellers of our solution into their corporate clients, and other solutions that could really scale our company very quickly. So hopefully, Brad, that answers your question regarding Microsoft. As far as other large bundles of business, we're starting to sell more and more packaged small enterprise solutions to law firms. As they work with us the first time and second time, and they get a comfort level and they see the value that we deliver. And by the way, I was doing the numbers the other day. Since we've launched the legal services part of our business, we have provided probably close to $500 million of let me rephrase that. We have delivered emotional insights that have helped lawyers settle or receive verdicts of close to $500 million. So in a very short period of time, we've had a major impact on bringing justice to people who need justice served to them, who've been in, car accidents or medical malpractice or sexual harassment or workman's compensation. We've done habitation cases. So again, focused on that personal injury. On the flip side, we just recently started doing some cases, some tests for the defense and defense firms who fight against the personal injury. So our legal product of EmotionTrac is agnostic. We can serve anybody. And we are also getting some inquiries from some criminal defense attorneys as well. So collectively and cumulatively, that's where David mentioned earlier in one of those slides where we're seeing our growth really starting to spike and scale. And it'll be very interesting to see how this year plays out. But it's definitely been in the right direction. And we're triple digit ahead of last year at the same time.
I also want to point out that, I just produced recently what's called a TAM study, a total addressable market, just for the legal industry, based upon with references. There's 100,400,000 trial cases filed or court cases filed a year in the United States, with 27% of those are litigation cases, which is sort of our sweet spot. So you figure about 27 million cases that could use our service. So we have 3 different products that we can sell into that service. And at our price point, just one usage of our product on any one of those, on all those cases, comes out to an $84 billion market for us to attack, and that we don't see any competition in sight for what we're doing. So that's just in the legal field alone.
Yeah, and then how do you plan to scale operation and infrastructure to meet the growing demand for the platform?
There's a couple of different ways. Number one, scaling the growth is through a network of salespeople. We just recently added one other person to the team, so now there's 3 people focused on legal sales, plus myself when I have time. I wish I had time all day long to do it, but unfortunately, I'm pulled in a lot of different directions. And the director of sales took the prospects that we have, which and leads and hot leads that we have, that number over 30,000 currently, and split it up into four different geographical locations. And so it's like basically figure it out. There's 50 states divided by 4. it's 12 to 13 states per person, and you can't cover that kind of territory. So, what we do is we're being more reactive than proactive, is that we're doing some email marketing. We're going to trade shows and conferences. In fact, we have a conference this week in Nashville, Tennessee. And in fact, one of the speakers just did a test with us, just did a case, and they told us they're going to be presenting their case and their findings and mentioning EmotionTrac on the stage. And we believe there's close to 400 or 500 attorneys attending that conference for 2 days. So we need to expand our sales team. This is a very sort of old-fashioned business in a way that you develop relationships. I think in any business you develop relationships. Even Salesforce, which is doing, I don't even know, 30 billion in revenue these days or more. I mean, they have, I think at last count, over 3,000 salespeople in their organization. So that's number one, making sure that we have proper coverage, building relationships, and expanding our business that way. And the other way is by enhancing our technology and enhancing our product. And we're constantly improving our product to make it more automated. So on the back end of operations and support the operations, we can be more efficient and do it in a way that, Virgin Atlantic built a multi-billion-dollar business with only 5 people in corporate sales. I'm not going to say we only have 5 people in staff, but we're continuing to do product enhancement, and that will continue. And that's where a lot of the use of proceeds for investments that come is going into our marketing and sales efforts, and it's going into our product enhancement.
Yeah.
And then I was going to ask, what are some best practices for businesses looking to incorporate emotional analysis into their video content strategies?
They should just call us and send us their video. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's funny. We were on the call with Microsoft, and we were on with 2 analysts, and they're sitting there and they're trying to figure out, because it's a whole marketing research. In the old days, a study like ours could cost $200,000-$300,000. Okay, and our study cost $16,000, and they're having a hard time wrapping
In this particular instance, that's
in this particular instance.
For what Microsoft was requesting, it was 16,000. It can start much lower than that, but they wanted
16. Yeah, but the point was they're trying to get their hands around and say, well, what about this and what about that and what? Say no, this is groundbreaking. We've built technology that is able to be more efficient, and we're just trying. And it's like we had gone through demonstrations of our platform. We showed them the software. We showed them how easy it is, and we had to show them again yesterday on the call. And they're like looking and said,
they're scratching their heads, going,
saying it can't be this simple.
One of the questions that came from them is that this price you've given us, is this the price? Because they gave us a number of assets.
Sure? Yeah.
Yeah, they said, sure, this is the price. Is this per asset that you want us to test? We want to test, or is this for the whole thing? Because it's just we've made it really simple. You just upload your video, you select your audience, you choose some survey questions that can be asked afterwards, and then you check out either with your credit card or with company credits bought on a discount. It's just really simple. I tell Aaron all the time, I go, Aaron, we just need to, this thing, when you go to a laundromat and there's the wash and fold, there's big orders, and they do the folding for you. That's a good business. But what we've got is a coin laundry. You can literally get in there and utilize this thing over and over again. We've had major global brands use this twice in one day on a commercial. Okay. We've had multiple brands that have used this to check their commercial and to then optimize where the emotions weren't kicking off, and come back to us and tell us that this was the best performing commercial ever in their history of commercials. So, it's when you get that kind of feedback, the product's right. And here's what I was going to add to what Aaron's saying. Well, how do we grow the business? We have a very new concept. It's very exciting. And there's not somebody, it's like at conferences, as a leader of the company, I get so excited telling the story about what it's doing. The issue is the best sales happen when the seller's convictions become the buyer's convictions, and that happens through education. Okay, so our job is to get the word out on this new service that's unique. It does the job. People are raving about it, and it's our job to start educating the marketplace. And that's what really the dollars are going towards now. We're past proof of concept. We're on fire. You know, we've got more legal leads than we can get back to. Okay. So it's really, it's a very exciting moment in the company.
On the topic of feedback, what are the investors saying that are currently invested in the company?
I would love to ask them right now. Maybe they want to post that in the Q&A section here or in their
Well,
chat.
let me tell you what the feedback I get from investors is that, number one, all along the way, we have kept them updated. We used to do a monthly update on how the company's doing, and it was just almost too much. It was like a fire hose in the investor's face to the point where they stopped looking at them. So we do a quarterly update. In fact, I've got one due out right now. So we keep the investors informed constantly. We consider the investors our outside team members, okay? And we are investors too. So we're charging to the finish line. You know, the exciting thing for me is that I want to build a unicorn. Okay. I want to build a company that gets $1 billion valuation. And I don't want to do it just for the money. The money's great. But the real thing is I want to share this with my son, my family, my friends, with Aaron. I want them to experience this. This is going to be an experience. And whether or not you buy the stock, you need to put this one on your roadmap and watch it, because this will be a story one day you're going to be able to point back to and go, that thing, I remember when it was just this little bitty company trying to raise money on net capital.
And then Brad wrote a question here is, since your info is so valuable and no apparent competitors, have you considered raising prices, since apparently people are willing to pay you more, actually telling you it's too cheap?
You know, it's always a question that we review and analyze, and we just don't have enough data yet. Like David mentioned, how do we build this into a coin operated, machine business? And you need to have a significant volume to really understand what the price points should be. We're doing it on the legal side. We have raised prices on the legal side because we see the value and what lawyers understand the value to be. On the creative side, not just yet. We're sort of like really been focused on legal and not ad testing as much. Limited bandwidth and capital as well. We're looking to raise a bigger round of capital, and we're working on the planning that right now. So I think it's a little too early to tell that we should bump the pricing. And there's other opportunities that I can't discuss right now on a webinar that would be the reason we want to keep our price points, at least on the ad testing side, where they are. As David mentioned, we have multiple products in the legal side, and we just added a product that starts at $15,000 and up. And in fact, one case alone, we billed close to $40,000 on a one case that we tested. So there's always add-ons, there's always additional expenses that may come up in part of our services. So it's definitely something that we think about a lot.
So
thank you, Brad.
To add to that, it's important to always, the one thing you can understand from a strategic point of view is that the ability to have the most efficient pricing for insights puts us in a position to fend off any kind of competition. And it's really a question. It's also a question of how do you posture that. For example, in the creative world, in the advertising space, if the agencies are going to be pushing your product, if it's the agencies are going to be the largest point of distribution, then you've got to price your product in a way so there's room for them to make money. So, we haven't figured that one all out yet, but we are working with, in fact, our key person within Microsoft that's what his job is within Microsoft, is to make sure he's a senior strategist to make sure that Microsoft is not stepping on its own toes in front of their customers. And Microsoft has over 40,000 marketing or salespeople and 17,000 marketing people. So, it's a tricky question. And like Aaron says, it's going to be an interesting strategy to build that up, and we'll be able to be clearer on that as we get more information.
And then what are some milestones or achievements that you aim to accomplish in the next year to 2 years?
I think that we want to get this. I think in the next 2 years we want to get these 2 verticals we're in right now fully launched, and move to the place where we can confidently do some broad-based promotion. We can't get to all the conferences that we can get to. A lot of our clients come to us by going to conferences where lawyers are speaking about us. Okay. And we get a lot of interest that way. And what's happened is we've collected a lot of lawyers that want to use our service and are waiting for a perfect case to try it out. We need to get more of that done. We need to get more expansion done in our PR. So I would like to see both of these verticals expanded in PR wise and get the word out. And then from there on out, be prepared to start launching each of the other verticals as time permits. And having a roadmap to do that, I think we're going to attract some very interesting suitor relationships for mergers and acquisitions. I think that we want to build towards an eventual liquidity event that will deliver us all at a much more higher, a magnitude higher. Let's put it that way. And that would be my goal within the next 2 years. What about you, Aaron?
I concur, David.
I mean, this is what we've talked about. We talked,
Yeah,
obviously, daily.
we've built this company. This is a not a lifestyle business. This is a business that was funded by many shareholders, especially through crowdfunding. And so we have a lot of shareholders, and we want to make sure that they get a great return on investment. So we have to hit some numbers that, as David indicated, other parties would find interesting and take the company to the next level and make it even more valuable. And whatever that looks like, I can't predict what that liquidity event will look like or when it'll be, but we're all vested. Like David, indicated earlier, he was an early investor before he came on board. So he's got skin in the game. I put money, family money. We're all invested in this thing, and we're all looking for the right time. Still a little too early because we're doing education and we're building a business and a brand and a market that has not seen an AI solution like this ever, and trying to create value out of this product as well. So, yep.
Why is right now the perfect time for EmotionTrac?
Well, as I tell people all the time, I think this is going to be our parabolic year. Okay. And what I mean by parabolic, everybody talks about the hockey stick in investing, and we're on the hockey stick, but this is where I think this is the year it's going to turn and curve up. We've got a number of initiatives that are actually, that are unfolding right before our eyes with global leaders. Okay. And we have, we're seeing our sales are starting to reflect that, and I think this is a parabolic year. And I certainly, I got in very early, back 7 years ago, and the prices relative to where I got in 7 years ago has gone up, but it's not gone up what I think it's going to be going up. So you want to get involved.
David, you're up 5x, right?
Right, I'm up 5x, but that's not why we're doing this. Okay,
of course not.
That's not why we're doing this. We're I don't want to put a higher number out there for our targets. We have our own internal targets where we want to go with this, and the point is, you want to get these companies in your portfolio. You got to get some of it in there. I always tell people, if you want to win, you got to be in. So the thing is that you want to get them when they hit their tipping point. Okay. And the tipping point is when they get ready to hit critical mass. And I think that's where we are right now.
Khalil, you're on mute.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, Aaron, why is right now the perfect time for EmotionTrac?
Firstly, the AI market is exploding. And, people are still trying to navigate through what AI really means and how different industries are going to respond to it and what that means to the consumer, what it means to the investor, the stakeholders, and so forth. And although our product's been in AI since 2019 when we started developing it, it's not the sexy AI that's out there like the Chat GPTs of the world, the learning language models. Although we are exploring building our own type of model around the data that we have collected over the past couple of years. And if we do that effectively, and we're working on that slowly. It's an expensive undertaking to do that. I mean, ChatGPT, OpenAI has raised how much, David, has OpenAI raised before they
Well, they
even
raised
launched?
$10 billion in January. That's
Yeah,
an
so I mean, these guys have raised tens of billions of dollars to build the product. I mean, we've got an offering that's only raising 600 and some odd $1,000 right now. So we're doing what we can the old-fashioned way, rolling up our sleeves, trying to be creative, be frugal, and build it out. But I believe what the data we've collected from the solutions that we've built, we can really build something very special from it, aside from the growing revenue and everything else. And so why the time now is because, as David said, we're on the cusp. We're on the cusp, and we have a lot of opportunities. There's no question about it.
Awesome. And I'm just going to drop the net capital raise page link here. So if anyone in the audience want to get more information, visit the net capital page. Gentlemen, I'm not seeing any other questions coming in. Is there anything, final thoughts you want to add before we sign off here today?
I do. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who attended the webinar today. Appreciate you taking out the time in your afternoon or your morning and joining us. Also, if you're a shareholder of ours, thank you so much for the support. It means a lot. We really do appreciate it, and it helps fuel the growth of our company. And for the shareholders who continue to reinvest, also thank you, because again, we do need to put the lights on. We got to pay these bills, and I was telling David this morning, if it was up to me, I'd have a salesperson in every single state, 50 salespeople that unfortunately we can't pay minimum wage. That's a couple of bucks to get there. And we have to invest in that before we see what the return on investment is going to be. So we're just very thankful and a lot of gratitude and really grateful and appreciation to all our shareholders. And if you're going to be a shareholder, we thank you in advance.
There we go. Well, thank you, David. Thank you, Aaron, for taking the time out of your day to talk to us here. And everyone in the audience, thank you. And yeah, we will be posting a replay of the webinar on the Net Capital page in the coming days. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Khalil. Thanks, Khalil.